Good afternoon. My name is Praveen Kumar. I'm a field marketing manager with the client solutions in Dell Technologies. Hopefully, my audio is listenable or hearable for most of you guys. Thanks for dialing in today. Let's wait for a few more seconds or a minute max to see if we can bring in more people into the forum. Okay, so this gives us time to check our audios and adjust our volumes accordingly. All right, thank you. So I got some feedback that yes, I'm pretty much audible to you guys. Team, thank you for joining. I know this is a very challenging situation for most of you guys. Amidst your busy schedule, working from home, for your own professional environment, specifically on a Friday evening, you're taking some time out to understand and listen to us what we have to say in terms of remote working solutions. Right? So, and this is quite quintessential in this challenging time where everybody is forced to work from home. I eventually visualize that this is going to be the new way of life for almost all corporate companies. Remote working solutions is going to be the strategy, or at least it is going to be one of the core strategies of any IT planning for anybody. Before I also proceed towards the subsequent sessions, I would like to reiterate that while we have a solve for making employees to work from remote area in terms of connectivity and IT technologies, one thing I seem to be not figuring out is my electricity connection. So in case I dial out, it's probably just a lapse or momentary lapse between the electricity failing and my generator kicking up. So hang in there. Between 10 to 20 seconds, I will rejoin again. All right. So we were talking about remote working solutions, and we strongly believe that this is the new way of life. To give you a perspective, Dell visualized remote working solutions about 10 years back. We started giving our employees access to work from their home or work from wherever they want to, work from anywhere concept, right from 2010. So there is no other vendor in the market today, better place than Dell, who can tell you what you exactly need to look out for when you plan a work from home solution or a remote working solution. Rather, remote working solutions, I will also call it as a flexible working solutions, because it's not going to look like everybody is going to work only from home or from a remote area. It could also be that they will come back to office, go back to home, however the situation demands. Because today's lessons have taught us that we need to be flexible and ready for anything which may come in our way. Right? So let me give you some insights of how do you need to plan your vision of implementing remote working solutions. We will touch base on the products of very low key, but more of a strategy perspective. I hope this will give you a insight of what industry experts are also thinking. At the same time, what IT solutions provider, end-to-end IT solutions provider like Dell envisions about remote working solutions and what we predict for the future. The most important thing of any work from home solution is how you deploy it. Now, if you remember, rewind back to 22nd of March, when the lockdown was announced, what did everybody did in the first place? We had to forcefully request the employees to work from home. And for those of them who had access to only desktops environment, when we had to provision, we asked them either to carry the desktops back home or we tried to provision a laptop, but we couldn't do it unless we figured out how do I install all the applications, all the images which is required for him or her. So that is important. That's the traditional deployment which has been working out so far. That, for example, a customer like you who places an orders for hundreds of units to the OEM such as Dell, we manufacture the PCs from a factory and then we ship it out to you. You receive it in your office, you unbox it, you install all the custom applications, user access rights, and so on and so forth. You repack it again and then hand it over to the user. The user has to take it back, redo the whole process, unpack again, and then he needs to key in his login ID password. There are several layers from the time your company initiates an order till the time the actual end user can get access to the PC. That is very, very important. Can we afford for such a long time? At this stage, we cannot. So we need to forego the traditional deployment process. Modern deployment cuts all the layers in between. Today, we are at a scenario where you can place an order, we will ship out the unit directly to your employees with all the access, all the applications, image installations, whatever you need directly from the factory. All he needs to do is just log into his ID and password. Everything else meant for him gets downloaded from the cloud onto the internet. There are many such management consoles which offers you the possibility. First and foremost, VMware Workspace one gives you that modern deployment process seamlessly, containerized as well. Two, if you're already an existing Windows Azure users, and if you have your Active Directory services over Azure Cloud, you can also do it by using facilities such as Windows Autopilot, where when you are placing the order, we will also give you the device ID. You will map the user group to the device ID and map all the applications which he or she needs to get it downloaded. We ship the device directly to the end user. The moment he keys in his login ID password, you have already mapped it in the cloud that will get downloaded in the internet. And he's ready to go right from the word go. Traditionally, if you look at it, if you have to deploy 1,000 PCs with the full-fledged resources which you have, it takes minimum of 7 working days. Currently, we are in a situation where we just have to reach it. The moment he puts it in ID and password, everything meant for him gets deployed automatically within a matter of few minutes. It doesn't take many days. It's just a matter of few minutes. That's a modern deployment process. The first pillar of enabling a remote workforce solution is that you need to have a modern deployment process. The other ones are similar. Security is very, very important. Manageability is important. Support system is very important. Deployment is the first stage. First of all, how do we migrate to a modern deployment process? Two, what are the devices which I need to deploy to make it for the right user groups? We will talk about those specific products towards the end of the session. The most important
Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry about the technical glitch. We should be back online in the next couple of seconds. Request you to please bear with us.
Hi, I'm back. I'm sorry for the momentary relapse. I hope I'm audible back again. Okay, show me a sign of wave that I'm able to hear. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Right, and my sincere apologies. As I said, we seem to have the solutions for the IT, but never to do with the electricity in the city. All right. Thank you. Uh, so, having said that, team, we were talking about how we can manage the deployment through the best-in-class devices as well as the modern deployment. But however, what's the most important thing is to take care of the security. We were talking about how 99% of all the threats originate from your endpoint devices, not from the data center, not behind your firewall, at your laptop and a desktop. All it needs is just one employee to open an unsolicited email and then compromise the whole company's information, right? We don't want to happen, do we? Right? So, having said that, the third pillar of the entire stuff is manageability. How can I manage my environment very flexibly? For example, there are so many things which we need to talk about. An employee can join wherever he likes. Today, you have an opening for a specific role or a position. You don't have to necessarily have to get him to report to your office. If your office is in Bangalore, and if you think that this person can work from anywhere, maybe from Mumbai or Delhi, let him join there. I will ship out a notebook directly to him, and whatever accessibility he needs, he can directly install it over the cloud. And even though he is remote, I can manage what he needs in terms of the applications requirement, in terms of his accessibility rights. No problem. So there are multiple things to look into manageability. We will also talk about a lot of other stuff. Most importantly, throughout the PC lifecycle, throughout your IT's lifecycle, you need to have the right support systems, the services and supportability right from the time you place an order till the time you retire that machine. You need the right support services, and there is no other vendor today in the market who has a better services support than Dell today. We can reach out to far more places than any other competitor in the market. We cater to tens of thousands of pin codes. We've had instances where we have reached to the remotest place without any qualms. If not for the same business day, next business day, or the second business day. All right. So to jump into this quickly a little bit more, right? A very clear step, a 5-step to day one productivity. We spoke about already the modern deployment in a little bit. In terms of security, three further downtrends. One is you need to make sure the devices are secure, which is very important. You need to make sure, first of all, TPM chip, the encryption chips, is hardware based, not software or a firmware based. So if at all you're asking any vendor in the market, not just Dell, please insist on a hardware TPM. It is almost impossible to crack a hardware TPM, because together that with the BitLocker is actually protecting your information from the company. Two, you need to have Safe ID. We call it as a Safe ID. It's a control vault 3 chip from Dell. All your biometric and your login credentials, for example, your fingerprint reader data, your facial recognition data, all your login credentials, they all should be stored in an isolated place. It should not be on the hard drive. It should be in an isolated place. So that's something what we call it as a safe ID. How do we protect your credentials? Safe BIOS is very, very important. That's absolutely required, because when you let an employee work from remote area and he's connected to a public internet, the last thing you want is somebody sniffing into his BIOS system and then compromising it. See, it's pretty simple. BIOS is basic input output system. They govern the rules of how each and every port and how each and every keyboard or a monitor or your USB port should work. Somebody who has access to the BIOS can actually have access to the entire laptop or a desktop or a workstation. Now, when he gets an access to his entire notebook, and when you connect to your company's VPN, in return, that person can actually get access to your company's infrastructure completely, right? BIOS is very, very important. What is unique about Dell giving this particular features in terms of safe BIOS? If we need to verify whether the BIOS is compromised or not, you cannot do it within the system. you have to do it outside the system. What we call it as off the host, right? Off the host, which means we will do it as a cloud-based one. We will verify whether it's a golden image which was shipped from the factory, and we will highlight to you and say that this is not the actual BIOS. It's compromised. You will have to purge the system, redo the whole integration completely again. Otherwise, your company's network will be compromised. Safe Screen is another facility which we have introduced. It is an e-privacy option. I'm not sure how many of you are using this privacy filters from brands like Target and 3M. They're excellent products, but at the same time, they're all external filters. You have to keep it over the screen whenever you require some privacy, remove it when you don't want it. But we made it simple. What we have done is we have brought into an e-privacy concept where with one click of a button, the display can transform itself to a privacy filter. So if you're working from, say, for example, an airport area or a cafe, barista, wherever you are, Starbucks, you don't want somebody who's sitting next to you to look at your laptop. You need to use the e-privacy option. That's something called Safe Screen. We also provide mechanical shutters, physical shutters for the web camera. Because somebody who gets access to your camera can actually see what you're doing and at the same time what kind of key logs you're doing in terms of password or so on and so forth. He can monitor you. So rather that we give you physical. That is your trusted device, basically with all your security within the hardware network. Trusted access, as we spoke about, how do we containerize each and every user group? And even if you implement the concept of bring your own device, where you access mails through your mobile, you will have a separate work profile. That will not access your personal profile, or the personal profile will not access your work profile. Not many things can be discussed about those things, right? That is pretty simple. Trusted data. Most importantly, how do you protect your data? How do you safeguard your data? We have solutions such as data protection, and for security, we have VMware Carbon Black. They actually protect the data wherever they go. They actually protect your information from threats even before they can happen. We spoke about how hackers can easily hack your endpoint devices rather than data center. You also need to understand that any kind of attack actually is there within your device for at least 60 to 90 days on an average before they actually come up the layer and it poses a threat to you. It is there within the device for almost 60 days, understanding all your behavior and user, and one fine day it decides to come up. And by the time it comes up, everything is compromised. Correct? So trusted device is important. Accessibility and data is through your management solutions. I'm going to take a pause out here and put you to the question number 1. We just discussed about the important pillars, first of all, of a workforce transformation or a remote workforce solution, right? What do you think, from a Dell's point of view, are the key pillars in enabling a workforce transformation? What do you think is the right one? Is it deployment? Is it security? Is it manageability? Is it services? Is it everything? The poll should be in front of you on your screen now. Okay, thanks for all your replies. The correct answer is everything. All of the above. Deployment is important. Security, manageability, and support systems. Everything is important. Right. Moving on. We spoke about this. How do we build in the security within your trusted devices? Awesome. One thing I also want to touch base on with you today is, see, remember when you're employing your workforce, right? They will be connected to a power source. It happens in your office also. How many of your employees are actually connecting their adapter, for example, in a laptop, their adapter to the laptop, and they disconnect it only while stepping out of their desk, while going back home, or probably when they're working from home while shutting down the PC? That happens all the time, right? Now, typically what happens is your battery, when it is connected to a power source constantly, they heat up. When it heats up, your battery, which is a lithium based battery, the walls become weaker. And when it walls become weaker, it will not be able to hold charges for a prolonged time. So after 1 year, you will start noticing, hey, this was giving me 4 hours, 5 hours minimum, but I'm getting only 2 to 3 hours right now. What is wrong with it? You may say, hey, system is faulty. Actually, system is not faulty. It's a user behavior which rendered the situation. Same is the case with your mobile phone. Have you noticed this? If you have a habit of connecting your mobile phone to the charger over a period of night, over the night, and removing it in the morning, and you will see after 6 to 9 months that the battery is not giving you, enough backup. That's exactly what we are talking about. So how do we optimize this? Because every time a battery fails, your company is expending another 10% of incremental cost to replace the battery, correct? And since the employees are not connected to the office environment directly, they are not in front of you, is it possible to monitor how they are connecting the batteries to that after? It is not possible. So you can enforce certain restrictions and certain user policies on your Power Manager user. For example, in our Dell Command Power Manager, this is a tool which we are giving free of cost. With all the Latitude platform or any commercial mobility platform which has a battery, the Dell Command Power Manager tool is shipped free of cost. Now, this will allow you to set thresholds. For example, has the battery charge reached to 90%? Okay, cut off the power draw from the source, which means even if you have the adapter switched on and the plug point is switched on, the laptop will not draw power to your laptop. It will stop, it will cut it off. And when it falls back to 15% or 20%, then it will start drawing the power back on. So this will allow you to control the temperature. All right, it will allow you to control the temperature of the laptop and prolong your battery life. So you can save a lot of. Yeah, I'm back again. So yeah, that was the second time, but this time I was faster to react. All right. Okay. So yeah, so you need to implement such features which is given by the respective OEMs mandatorily for your organization. Right? Um, I'm not sure if my audio is pretty clear. I get one feedback that the audio is losing. Am I back? I'm back now. Thank you. All right. So that's the Power Manager for you. So please insist with your account manager the next time you're going to buy a portable device from Dell, if it is a Latitude specifically or a Precision mobile workstation, please insist that the Power Manager be shipped from the factory. Actually, we do it automatically unless you override the image from the factory. Now, we also have started shipping our new generation Latitude platform and the Precision workstation platforms with something called a Dell Optimizer. This helps you to make your PC intelligent. Now, Dell Optimizer is a tool which incorporates artificial intelligence and machine learning concepts. Now, when you switch on your PC, you can go and manually select 5 different applications which you commonly use day to day. It could be your Outlook, it could be a browser, it could be any specific software which you are running, whatever it is you want to fine tune the performance of. And you say, start learning. From that day on, this tool will understand how you are using these applications, fine tunes the resources which is required. Okay, this application requires so much of memory. This application is drawing so much of power from the battery. I need to probably optimize the battery to a certain level, right? I need to optimize the screen brightness to a certain level. This learns, it's a machine learning process. Over a period of time, you will start realizing that the next time when you start the same application, it boots faster, it responds faster than your previous history, right? So we are making the PCs also intelligent to understand how and where you are working from. The Dell Optimizer also includes a very unique feature called intelligent audio. Now, the audio feature understands where are you based out of. Is there a background noise? Is it something that you're trying to log into a conference call? Are you working from a remote area? Is the background noise fine? And then it fine tunes your audio and mic settings accordingly. It's called intelligent audio. We have express sign-in, where you can, without even having to touch your PC, you can log in seamlessly. In Latitude 7000 and 9000 series, we have something called a proximity sensor, right? So it understands when you are stepping near the laptop, it senses that you are nearby. It wakes up from the sleep mode, switches the laptop on, and then it triggers the camera which is there. The camera recognizes your face through Windows 10 Hello. There is a feature called Windows 10 Hello, which can scan your fingerprint or your facial recognition and allows you to log in, right? So first, proximity sensor detects that you're nearby the laptop. It will wake on the PC. IR camera is triggered, and it will read your face and it will allow you to log in. You will go to your desktop screen without even touching the laptop or to have to enter your password and login ID and password. That's called express sign-in. Those kind of intelligent features we are giving to the PC. And also, most interestingly, when you step out of the PC, the system realizes that you have moved away from the PC. There is a range of 3 feet. If you moved away from PC in a range of 3 feet, it understands that you have stepped away. It will reduce the brightness of the screen first. It will go into sleep mode automatically, right? So we are building intelligence PC in the market, and nobody is placed closest to us. The feature which we provide in Dell Optimizer is not matched by HP or Lenovo equally. And needless to say, our Dell Optimizer comes with the new generation PCs which have been launched in calendar year 2020, absolutely free of cost. How beautiful is that? We don't charge you for the Power Manager tool. We don't charge you for the Dell Optimizer. All we need to request you to do is implement it. Okay. Now, looking at a broader portfolio from a commercial mobility perspective, we have our various options available. We have from a range of 3000 series to 5000, 7000, 9000 series, and precision mobile workstation along with our XPS and goes through small business notebook. Now, here's what it is, right? We believe strongly that one size does not fit all. Very clear, correct? What is my usage pattern is not yours. What's yours, probably within your own company, a different employee works with his laptop in a different way. So that is why we have a range of products. I will request you to reach out to your account manager to find out what is the right fit for your organization, and within your organization, what will be the right fit for different personas. Is the person fixed computing user? Is he not going to be traveling? Is a person on the go professional who travels a lot? Maybe not now, maybe once the lockdown is lifted or the situation is better. Or is the person somebody like a middle manager who shifts between meeting rooms to his desk and back to his home? Accordingly, we can select the device. But one thing which is common is that we do not compromise on the manageability, security, and reliability of the PCs across whatever model we offer to you. Right? So our devices are always ready. We have very innovative designs. We have unified workspace, which is an integrity of your security, manageability, supportability, and the trusted, all the deployment process. Everything you can also avail it as a service today. Okay. Now, just to give a brief outlook on what we have from the calendar year 2020 calendar, we have recently launched a 3000 series Latitude notebook with all 10th generation Intel processors. Again, even in the 3000 series, now we are shipping out with Dell Optimizer with artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities. We have also introduced something called a eSIM capability. Right? Now, eSIM is something like this, where you don't have to necessarily have a data card and you will have a SIM card tray. Now, even if you don't want to insert a physical SIM itself, you can actually dial up to your internet service provider, provided they offer you an eSIM facility, and dial up to the internet connection directly. The modem is already provided in wireless WAN. Okay, you need to ask your account manager to include something called a wireless WAN or mobile broadband. Talk to him about mobile broadband. When you select that particular option, the modem goes internally on the board, and you don't necessarily have to insert a physical SIM. You can directly dial up. It's even more easier when you're shifting between two different ISPs. Very stylish, very modern looking. It also has wake on power on lit option, which means when you open the laptop, it will actually switch on automatically. Very clean design in the keyboard, very small, thinner and lighter with narrow borders. Here's what we strive to do every generation and every year which we launch, we try to make it smaller, thinner and lighter. Lighter in terms of weight, thinner in terms of the Z height or the height of the PC, smaller in terms of the overall surface area which occupies your desk. You can say, Praveen, how do you make it smaller? A 14-inch laptop has to be a 14-inch laptop. What we typically do is we get rid of the bezel surrounding the LCD, the plastic trims, right? We make it narrow border or infinite edge border, edge to edge glass, correct? In 5000 and 7000, in 5000 and 7000 series, you will find it as narrow border. We've also introduced similar concept in 3000 series where two edges are narrow border. And in models such as your higher in 2-in-1s or your 9000 series, you will find it is infinity edge board without any plastic trims or any kind of a bezel surrounding it. All right. The 5000 series is a mainstream performance computer. If you want good computing, good performance, you are a programmer, you want to run analytics into it, and you want mainstream performance, then 5000 series is the right choice. What it offers up to 6-core i7 processors, optional graphics card. We also offer dual heat pipe as standard. What does the heat pipe does? Whatever hot air circulates around in the laptop, it sucks it out and pushes it out immediately, so that the temperature of the laptop is reduced. It will not be heating or warm on the skin of the laptop. Okay, so from a perspective of displays, right? So I constantly I spoke to you about the power manager. There are two main components inside a laptop which consumes a lot of power. One is the processor, two is the display. Right? Can we do anything about the processor? We cannot, because it's been shipped by Intel or AMD or whomever. In Latitude we ship Intel. Now, depending on how much computational power the application is demanding, the power consumed will be higher or lower. The other one is depending on your display. Display is also an power consuming component. What we have introduced from our 5000 series is something called a super low power panel, which means the display consumes only about 2 wattages of power, not more than that. At the same time, you will get almost 250 to 300 nits of brightness. So we are not compromising on the resolution. We are not compromising on the brightness of the screen. What are we giving you? A 2 wattages SLP panel, which consumes less power. Importantly, you may ask me, Praveen, what is the benefit of it? What do I get out of it? Remember, if it consumes low power, which means it gives you more battery backup. Now, the laptop which was giving you 4 hours can now give you 5.5, 6 hours, because it is an SLP panel, right? So insist with your account manager. This is a new technology which has been enabled, and if you really want to utilize it, you have to ask your Dell sales account manager to include a super low power panel option. And we also have, as I spoke about, Cat9 LTE, which is basically your SIM card or your mobile broadband with the new eSIM technology. Again, 5000 series also includes the built-in AI concept, artificial intelligence concept of Dell Optimizer. It can scale up to 32 GB of memory seamlessly with high-speed 2667 megahertz performance. Latitude 7 series is a premium performance machine, premium experience. It has the mainstream performance just like 5000 series, plus it also gives you a premium experience. For example, it gives you optional 4K panel on certain screen size. It gives you that safe screen, feature which we spoke about, the e-privacy one. It gives you infinite edge bezels or infinite edge borders. There are 13 inches and 14-inch models where by just changing the LCD option or the hinge option, rest all remaining the same, you can convert your laptop purchase into a two-in-one purchase. Right? Thunderbolt port, which gives you 40 Gbps of data transfer speed, is actually default in 7000 series. In 5000 series, it is optional, whereas in 7000 series, it is default. Let's say, what does Thunderbolt port does for me? Imagine this: an USB 3.1 Gen 1 gives you approximately about 450, about 4 to 5 Mbps speed. And USB 3.1 Gen 2, like your Type-C format or any other format, can go up to 10 Gbps. A Thunderbolt port is also a Type-C format, but it has Thunderbolt technology enabled in it, which will give you 40 Gbps of data transfer speed. Which means it is like this: a movie file, probably of say 3 to 4 GB in a high resolution, you transfer it within a matter of just 1 minute or even less than that. Very fast data transfer. It helps you to backup data. There are external hard drives, external peripherals which are available with Thunderbolt port. You have mobile phones with Thunderbolt port. So here we have what we've enabled is Thunderbolt port as a default feature in 7000. Again, mainstream performance, premium experience, right? You have an option to have carbon fiber or an aluminum panel. Okay. We spoke about it in a lot. We've already seen about it. We also have one such model, which is 74102 in 1, where we give you Cat 16, not just Cat 9. We give you Cat 16, which means the eSIM card or the SIM card or the eSIM facility can utilize speed up to 1 Gbps. It is as good as your Ethernet port. Okay. All right. I'm going to pause out here, and I'm going to rewind a couple of slides back to my safe device options. Just a quick check to see where you were. Right. Question number 2. Safe BIOS options. We spoke about safe BIOS, right? How you cannot compromise your BIOS. Safe BIOS options provides what exclusive feature? Can we have the question number 2 on the panel, please? There you are. Thank you. Right. So I know I'm bringing it after some 3 or 4 slides because it is just a quick recap of what we discussed about earlier. What does a safe BIOS do in Dell as an exclusive feature in Dell, which no other competitor offers in the market currently? Take a guess. Okay, there is no harm in answering this. Any question is good. It need not be necessarily a, the right answer. Take a guess. What does Dell offer in Safe BIOS as an exclusive feature, which probably no other player in the market today offers this? You need to have pro support service from Dell to enable this feature or to get this done. Okay, Let me answer you. BIOS, golden image retrieval, is possible commonly in the market. Constant BIOS updates is available from most of the OEMs from their support network. Yes, you need to check your integrity of the BIOS within the device, but is that the right way? No. If you check the integrity check within the device, what happens is if the BIOS is already compromised, it is going to only tell you that everything is fine. Don't worry, your BIOS is good because the machine is already compromised. It's like classic case of Volkswagen, an automobile company, if you remember, how they programmed the chip to cheat the pollution control, something of that sort. So the right answer is Dell offers you off the host where you can verify BIOS outside the device from a cloud base so that you can independently verify whether the BIOS is right or not within the device. The correct answer is off the host, right? Quickly, I'm going to pull in the question number 3 also for you. Thank you. E-privacy screen helps to do what for you as a customer? What do you think e-privacy screen does? We spoke about this. Is it securing your information, or is it a filter along with the device like 3M or Targus? Is it an antivirus solution, or is it an anti-phishing spyware remedy? Awesome. Most of you seem to be getting it right. I already gave you the answer. Now you see somebody shifting from the previous answer to this answer. Okay, great. Awesome. Hey, thanks for participating, right? It's not about what is right or wrong. It's about participation. So e-privacy screen actually gives you a security to secure an information from prying eyes in cafes, airports, etc. It is not a filter, but it is enabled within that LCD, within the device, with a shortcut button of when you click a button, the existing LCD will transform itself to e-privacy so that the person who is sitting next to you cannot see what is going on in your laptop. All right. So to your question, Mr. Swapan Dalal, eSIM. eSIM is a facility within the existing modem of your mobile broadband module. That module has to be shipped from the end user, from the factory to the end user, my bad. And when it's shipped from the factory to the end user, you have two options. One, you remove the SIM card tray, put your physical SIM, insert it, and you can dial up to your Airtel, your Vodafone Idea, BSNL, or Jio, whatever internet provider. Two, you don't have to necessarily have to have a SIM cards, physical SIM card, nano SIM or a micro SIM, but this eSIM gives you an option to dial directly to your service provider. You can allocate the IMEI number accordingly, dynamically, right? Some of them are started offering this on a pilot basis, but it will eventually be the way for next generation, because it will cut down a lot of costs also for the ISPs, because they shell out 50 to 100 bucks for every SIM card, which is no longer required. Your mobile phones are going to come with eSIM, going forward. So that's what eSIM is about. Without physical SIM, it connects. Okay. Now, interestingly, I will also pull in the question number 4. Right? We spoke about 3,000, 5,000, and 7,000. Take a guess. I've already discussed about 3, 5, and 7 series. So eSIM connectivity in the new Dell Latitude platform, which models do you think eSIM connectivity is possible? Again, so most of you are getting it right. It is almost all the Latitude platform has an option for wireless WAN card, which is mobile broadband, and that wireless WAN mobile broadband actually comes with eSIM facility. All right. Thanks for your responses. Let us quickly, run into the Latitude 9000 series, which we call it as the most intelligent PC available in the market today. Why? This is an ultra premium notebook. It has got top firing speakers. It has got the latest 10th generation CPUs. It is a 15-inch model in a 14-inch screen size, 15-inch screen size in a 14-inch model size. It doesn't make sense. How do you make a 15-inch screen size into a 14-inch model? Very simple. We have reduced the surface area. We have not compromised on the display. Wide angle of 15 inches, diagonal size, but we have removed completely the trims around the display. So previously, whatever 14-inch you have been using in the same size, we can give a 14-inch screen. All right. This is the first PC in the industry from Dell stable, which we ultra premium notebook, where we have introduced 5G capabilities. Now, India may not be ready today, but maybe next year or whenever 5G is ready, this device is ready. Right? This is the first device from Dell Latitude, which is 5G ready, and the first device in the industry ultra premium category, which is 5G ready. It has got 2 Thunderbolt ports by default. As we spoke about it, it's got a 10th gen. It has got a top firing speaker, which means you don't have to necessarily connect through your headset or an earphone for any conference meetings. The top firing speakers gives you a beautiful conference room audio, 3D high definition sound. At the same time, intelligent audio feature gives you noise isolation. It reduces the environment to make sure that you have an exclusive meeting access. Okay, so that's what is the Latitude 9000 series is about. The key features we spoke about it uses very premium panel. SLP panel is there. It's made up of aluminum chassis, diamond cut edges, precise diamond cut edges, 100% Thunderbolt port as we spoke about, drop hinges, meaning you can push it to 180 degree without any resistance, any number of times. It also offers you feature to open up your laptop with one hand. You don't necessarily have to use both the hands to open your laptop. That's drop hinges and variable torque hinges as we speak about. All right. So before we come to the end of the session, I would like to see if you guys have any questions in terms of implementing key remote workplace strategy. If I have to rewind back a little more slides to capture the core essence of what you need to do in enabling a remote workforce strategy, are these pillars. Here you go. You need to take care of the deployment process. You need to take care of the right device. You need to give the right security aspects in terms of hardware as well as software security, manageability, like user access and how to provision wherever he is from. Very importantly, support services. Dell is an excellent service provider who leads the market for the last few decades in terms of unparalleled quality in terms of support services. This is very, very essential. That's the crux of the discussion today. And then we have those perfect devices for you to work from home for your remote capabilities. We spoke about in length and all the products. If you have any further queries, that's a 45 minutes for you. If you have any further queries, please reach out to the email ID which is being put up on your monitor right now. We will reach out to you. But if you have any queries right now, I'm open for the next 10 minutes to answer any of your queries. I hope there is already an announcement which has been done. You guys can visit our Dell Solution Center, the Small Business Solution Center. Currently, we have a lockdown, so we have closed it down. We will announce the reopening of it as quickly as possible. When we do have the reopening possible made, we welcome you to our SP Solution Center. All right, so Mr. Nilanjan, you're talking about installing e-security in Dell G3. I believe Dell G3 is something which we don't cover in the commercial aspect. It's more of your retail model which you use for your own personal device. I believe it's more to do with Inspiron G3, if I'm not wrong, or the gaming devices, right? So I'm not clear about the gaming device. Maybe I can ask any of our experts to come back. So we were speaking about Dell Latitude, which is enterprise class and commercial devices. We have e-privacy panel available for you. Okay, let's take a look into the next few questions. What is the cost of a Latitude 9000 series? I'm sorry. We will keep the price negotiation. It's a completely customizable PC. We have ranges from i5, i7, 4-core, 6-core, scalable memory from 4 GB to 32 GB, various hard drive options, various services options, proximity sensor, high definition, full high definition with touch, without touch, 2-in-1. So many things are there. Right? I can't give you a price online on a webinar right now. But Nilanjan, I got you. We will ask somebody to reach out to you. Okay. Do you have any further questions for me? Yes, safe BIOS is a possibility for all the Latitude laptops. What you need to insist is when you speak to your account manager or the Dell relationship manager, please ask him to also provision the pro support service along with it, right? So that you can enable the safe BIOS facility. Or you can ask for a meeting or a call from the services specialist who can explain to you how it works. But to your question, Mr. Swapan, Safe BIOS is a feature available in all the Latitude platform, which has been launched from calendar year 2020, this year, whatever we have launched. No problem. Is there any other questions? Team, one thing to note, right? So when you're enabling a workforce to work from remote areas, you would probably want to also look into what is the displays or input output keyboard mouse, what do they need, because it's very, very important. And we have solutions such as a type C capability. Now let me tell you from a technology perspective, right? I'm more of like an evangelist who I keep reminding customer that you need to have less on your desk, right? That's the word I use, less on your desk, which means you can't have a clutter of wires floating around in your desk. We can make the devices smaller, but at the end of the day, if you have too much of wired clutter, it's very, very clumsy, and productivity definitely decreases. It's most importantly, whatever we do, the productivity should not go down. So what do we do about these kind of situations? You need to go wireless as much as possible. So the wireless capacity from the laptop, also from a power charging capabilities. Now, if you connect a monitor or a keyboard or a mouse, everything will have its own wires, right? So we have type C port default in almost all the laptops in Latitude. Now what you need to do is, when you have a type C monitor which can connect itself, the port can do 3 different wonders. When you connect the type C cable from the monitor to the laptop, there are 3 different things which are possible. One, the type C port is actually a data transfer port by nature. 2, it can also act as a charging point. So if you connect the monitor to the power adapter directly or to the power source, the monitor will in turn charge your laptop. You don't need to have a separate laptop charger for your laptop, separate power source for your notebook, right? The monitor will charge the laptop. 3, it also transmits the video transmission or a video signal. That's beautiful type C port. So when you decide, please do also have type C as one of the key criteria in your mind, and the type C port should be chargeable type C port, power share. That is important. Otherwise, the type C port is just a data transfer port. That's it. You will not have video transmission or a power transmission. Okay. insist on a Type-C with power share in any laptops which you choose. And if you decide to go with the monitor, insist on a Type-C monitor so that we will have one power cord. Your keyboard and mouse can be wireless. The laptop already has wireless. A monitor will be connected to the laptop with one data cable, which is a Type-C cable, which can also charge the laptop. So try and simplify things so that the employee experiences almost lesser capacity. Because we are not planning to give furnitures to our employees doing. Some companies do, right? But the employee is actually making do with his dining table or his own study table at his home. So it is our job to make sure that he has less clutter. Okay. All right. It's a good question, Mr. Prakash. How do we ensure we take steps to make these laptops in India? We prefer it's not from China. Now, as an industry, we are all striving to do this. We are all striving to do this. Trust me when I say this. But again, there is multiple factors which gets involved, right from the supply of key components, right? Also about the availability of local resources within the country. So there is definitely a strategy which every single company, not just Dell, is looking forward. How much can we do as a localized production? Currently, we are evolving to that. I believe some of our small business models and the consumer models are already being assembled in India from our facility from Chennai. Right? The commercial models may find its way eventually, but there are a lot of other concerns as well as availability which we need to take to. But Mr. Prakash, to answer your question, simple. We have already thought about this. We are taking the necessary steps involved with the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. All these projects are in place, and we are trying to do as much as possible to do a localization. We have already started with Inspiron models. Our Vostro platform is also shifting gradually to India. We will wait and see about Latitude and Precision. I don't have an answer for you right now, but we are already evolving that concept. Okay, why do we need to connect the monitor to the laptop? That's a good question, Mr. Swapin. A lot of employees prefer to have two displays. One application in one display, the other application in another display. Sometimes, they have also a facility where they can paste the data just by swiping towards the left. It comes to the next application and copies the data. So a lot of facilities, a lot of people work in multiple displays. And even more important, if your employees feel a little bit stressed in their eyes because they're using 14 inches and 15 inches screen size in their laptop, if they needed to see it in a bigger view, right? Maybe a widescreen monitor which can give you more Excel columns, then they will need a monitor. In those use cases, my preference is that you go with a Type-C monitor. Mr. Prakash, again, to your question on localization, what are you taking to necessary steps to be for Dell to be the winner? Of course. So our strengths are in pretty much in everything. You must have known by now that Dell is excelling in our supply chain and logistics. We are a very professional company when it comes to our end-to-end supply chain. Two, we also have a robust service support system. Even if they are not manufactured within India, we make sure that all the support engineers present across the country are able to do this. So when I say, I'm not sure what is the context of we will be the winner, but do not worry about it. We will still have the core values of our client systems uncompromised. That will also be including the quality control and everything else, if that's your concern, right? So we will eventually be a winner. And most importantly, in this industry today, there is no other vendor better placed with technologies. Dell Technologies encompasses a lot of technology features. It could be virtualization, data center, lot many things. In fact, in client technologies, we give everything out of the box, which we can ship out whichever factory we are shipping it out. You can get your VMware Carbon Black license or Workspace ONE license or your data protection and encryption license, everything out of the box. We infuse that image in the factory itself. All right. I don't see any other question. All right. If there are further questions, then we will bring down this session to a closure. So we are 2 minutes outside. So if you have any further questions, please write an email to tech_a_break@ncampaigns.com. Thank you for joining today. Nice meeting you all.